film, you're bald.
Yeah.
Is that a wig? Is it a mask? Or
No. That's my head shaved.
Who shaved the head?
Originally, my older son. I gave him a pair of clippers, and I said, "Have at it. Go on, Dad needs a haircut." So he did it for me.
Wow. And when your son saw the film, what did he say?
He hasn't seen it yet.
No,
I'm so excited for him to see it though, because a lot of the movies I've done, first of all, my kids can't see. But this one, the way James has put it together, the feeling it gives you leaving the theater. It's a fun movie. It's action-packed. It's got a lot of emotion and heart and love. But also, it makes you. When I saw it for the first time, I left the theater and I just felt like hopeful for humanity, for what I can bring to the world and the goodness I can bring and the goodness in others. So I'm really excited to show it to him.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Superhero Speak Superman Hype Train. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I'm your host, Dave.
And I'm the other dude that he lets sit in and talk shit about what he talks about. Call me Don.
We will call you Don. Don the Depressing. Oh, wait, no.
Only off stream.
Only off screen, yes. So... yeah, we're going to be talking Superman tonight. We have got some news about the movie. It hasn't come out yet. A little bit of HBO Max news that you wanted to talk about, Don. The score on Rotten Tomatoes for this movie, and James Gunn's reaction, and some other BS that has been going around about the movie, about is Superman an immigrant? Anyway, and... also, there's a new Superman origin in the comics that makes fun of Man of Steel. So we will talk about that. And then all Superman stuff tonight, because we're excited for this movie. We want to get you excited for this movie. So that's what we got. What do you think, Don? You excited? And what's going on in your world?
Well, I am excited. Anytime that there's a birthing of a universe comic book movie, you've got to be excited. Superman. So I'm definitely ready to go for that. But in general, whenever there's a comic book movie to see, I'm excited and look forward to it. And what happens, happens. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this. We'll probably see it on Saturday. Mm-hmm. My kids are excited to see it. You know, my two daughters. My 16-year-old might even come along. We'll see. But that's exciting, though, just to have them anticipate it. And, you know, so far, so good. I mean, I'm going to be optimistic about it. We'll get into it, I guess, more later, though. So, yeah, I mean, it's first. It's, you know, it's like I have high hopes, but I also kind of know the depths that this could go the other way. And so I'm really like, you know, excited. Yes, absolutely. But, you know, I think we're going to be okay. What about you, Dave? What about your week, or what's your excitement level? I think you're more of a DC guy than I am. Unfortunately, I wish some of our other friends could be here that'd be more knowledgeable in the, you know, if you were here.
Yeah, well, we won't get into that. We won't get into our missing friends. I could say a lot about that. I mean, I will say, JD, if you're watching, stay safe. He is actually, we did ask him if he wanted to join tonight, but he is actually, the ironic thing is, he is stuck at the Philadelphia International Airport, which is about a half hour from my house. He lives right outside of Chicago, so he's on his way home, but he's stuck there because of the weather, because we are having some wild thunderstorms tonight in Philly. You know, you're not derailing us tonight, Kassan.
You know, funny thing about JD, like you're saying right now, he's stuck in your city. I don't know, I've been stuck, but I've been to Midway Airport, which is close to where JD lives. but of course, I never got to meet him or anything. But it's just funny that now he's in your city in an airport, but you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird, like that.
Yeah. And but yeah, so I forget what I was gonna say. I got my new face. I don't know if anyone noticed. I've got my new glasses on.
Oh, you got a new face. Oh,
And
yes.
I think I look weird in the camera with them on. I I just got them tonight, earlier after dinner. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I'm old now. These are what are known as progressives, which are essentially bifocals without the line in the middle. And I have never. They've been telling me for years to get them. This is the first time I've
Yeah.
actually said, okay, I'll get them, and it does take getting used to. So if I look straight on, everything looks fine. It's when I start looking around, things look weird. So I was saying when to my son that like I feel taller because everything's distorted and feels farther away when I'm like looking down. So it's weird.
Okay, I could see
Yeah.
that. Well,
Uh,
I'm glad that lens crafters crafted you some glasses and sent them to you. Hopefully they rolled high on their D20, on the crafting check when making them.
yes. Me too. But yeah, no, I'm
+2 to perception.
I am definitely psyched for this movie. I played that clip at the beginning of the show. It's Nicholas Hoult who plays Lex Luthor in the movie, talking about the movie and like talking about he let his son shave his head for the role, and that his son hasn't seen it yet, but he's excited to show it to him because he said it's a really good movie and it actually made him feel hopeful. Afterwards, like hopeful for humanity and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, there you go. That's like, I mean, granted, he's promoting a movie he's in, but that should be the message in a Superman movie. It should be hope. He's a symbol of hope. They said they kept telling you in Man of Steel he's a symbol of hope, and yet, yeah, Man of Steel was Man of Steel. It was not a hopeful movie. It was a very dark movie, and he kills Zod at the end, and then is more upset about that than the millions of people he killed in Metropolis by knocking buildings over. So what are you gonna do? So yeah, that's it. Still been very busy at work. That should be slowing down for a little bit for me, I think. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And but yeah, that's about it. Hopefully don't lose power. Like it was thundering so loud the house shook a couple times. So I'm like, oh
Yeah.
That can't be
Here
good.
we go. Let's hope I don't have to solo that one. But it's funny that you mentioned the Man of Steel, because talking with my wife, I'm like, hey, we're gonna go see Superman this Saturday, and she's not excited, and so when I asked her like, well, what's up? Do you not even want to go? She's like, no, I want to go, but she's just like, I hate that it's not Henry Cavill. So she's not over that yet.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'll see if I am.
My girlfriend.
I like Henry Cavill Superman too.
My girlfriend doesn't care about Henry Cavill like that. She's actually excited to see it because it's the start of a new universe, and she doesn't have to have seen anything prior to understand what's going on in the movie. Hopefully, so which I'm like, oh, that's good. And then I got nervous, and I'm like, I hope there isn't a bunch of like, well, the fans of the comics are going to understand who Guy Gardner is. The fans of the comics are going to understand who Hawk Girl is. And Mr.
Does
Terrific.
she know about Green Lanterns at all?
She knows that there's a character called Green Lantern. I think that's about it.
Okay.
So we shall see. We shall see.
So that's going to be her Green Lantern. Guy Gardner is going to be her Green Lantern.
Damn. I didn't even think of it that way.
Yeah, man.
I'll drink to that. Oh my goodness. Hopefully hopefully Nathan Fillion knocks it out of the park then. Oh wait, Kassan says I'm not over Henry Cavill either. The guy is a true nerd. He's a true nerd, but he was in a terrible movie. And speaking of
but when he leaves, it just sucks the energy out of whatever franchise it was. Witcher was an awesome show, but we have no interest now. He is not a part of it.
Well, speaking of things that suck and are dark and evil, here's Darth Don to tell you where you can find more Superhero Speak.
Darth Don here. You must subscribe to Superhero Speak if you haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also will like this video. While you're on the HoloNet, go to superheroespeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated gundark named Brie Larson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show.
All right. The only news article, quote unquote news article we have tonight is something that's tangentially connected because it's Warner Brothers, and you had brought it to my attention there, Don. But so HBO or Max is now HBO Max again. It's officially been rebranded again. Do you like They Might Be Giants? The song Istanbul is now Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul, and that's now Constantinople. I feel like that's what we're going through.
It's I always didn't they do the Tiny Toons thing though, like Particle Man, Particle.
Yep.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, I like it. Sorry, go ahead.
No. You had something you wanted to comment on.
Well, I just public service announcement. So. It was HBO Max. Now, your Max app, as of today, us streaming this live, 9th of July, has now went back to HBO Max, which in general is a pain in the ass because we already had to get the new, when we had HBO Max, we had to get the Max app, and now we've got to go back to the HBO Max, which I'm sure is a whole new app or a whole new download. But just public service announcement, since Superman is coming out and you may be looking to see other DC properties, but are frustrated when your Max app isn't working, because now we're back to HBO Max, which, I don't know, another thought I had about it was, we remember when when Warner Brothers was like, we're going to do this, we're going to cut all these costs. And it's like, I wonder if them going from HBO Max to Max was some sort of like cost cutting effort. Like, I don't know, they pay per pixel for their name, but now they recovered enough that now they want to go back. Okay, we could pay for the extra 3 characters in the development.
The funny thing was, they tried to claim when they changed it that the HBO brand wasn't recognizable. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? They're the oldest cable channel for showing movies. Like they're a huge brand,
right? But forget even the movies, Sopranos, Game of Thrones, like it's known, and I'm sure there's some other shows, but just those are 2 iconic shows that are synonymous with water cooler talk.
Yeah.
So no, it's absolutely, as far as television even is concerned, a very recognizable brand.
And it almost feels like and I, I have no information on this. This is me spitballing a theory. Is when Discovery bought Warner Brothers, I feel like there was a bit of a pissing contest going on behind the scenes. So they were kind of like, well, we're in charge of the streaming. So, because originally it was like they had a Discovery app and they got rid of it and they folded that stuff into Max, and they were like, well, it's not just HBO anymore, so we're going to call it Max. And I felt like they had control over that, and that's why they changed it. But it was like everyone who knew the brand was like, this is dumb. There's a thing in marketing called like legacy branding. They're just brands that have been around forever, so you don't mess with that, because there are people who are going to buy it, download it, whatever, just simply based on the name. So, like, the idea,
your company's name Lysol, never ever change that name.
So, what's Kassan say here? They wanted to rebrand to separate their identity from legacy cable. They are going back to HBO because the name is tied to quality. Warner Brothers doesn't know what they want. Well, Warner Brothers doesn't know what they're doing. I've been saying that for a long time. Like, they mismanage so much, which is why people are apprehensive about this movie. I mean, let's be honest, right? So yeah, it's HBO Max again. So I don't know. I actually was just checking, and I hadn't had it on my phone since I got my iPhone, because I normally watch directly on my computer when I watch stuff. So I just typed it in, and if you type Max, just Max, nothing comes in. But if you type HBO, it comes up and says, "Oh, download it." So, so yeah, it is officially renamed. So let's move on to Superman. There have been early viewings. I actually have friends, quote unquote friends, on Facebook that are seeing the movie tonight. It's already been
quote unquote friends, or are they friends or not?
Well, I mean, some of them are like people I just know.
Well, I get it. I guess Rob Liefeld is a Facebook friend of yours.
Exactly.
But
right. I don't go hang out with Rob Liefeld. So
he'd be a jerk to you anyway, based off of the interactions I've seen so far.
So, but that being said, the movie has been out. People have reviewed it. People are going to see it. I've seen a lot of talk online. Some of it is BS, because there are definitely people who haven't seen it that are making comments before the movie even comes out, because there are people who just hate on stuff because it gets them clicks, But what I can say is, at this moment, before it even officially is out, on Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter with 199 reviews has an 83%, so it's certified fresh. And the popcornometer, which is I like the audience score, and there's 1,000+ verified ratings, is at 96%. So it sounds like it's a decent movie. What do you think? You trust in those numbers, or you think it's bought and paid for?
No, I don't think that it's bought and paid for. I'm surprised actually how high and how aligned the scores are. So it does make me hopeful. Although, from what I hear, what I believe to be the possible kind of synopsis of the plot here, I'm not excited about it, but obviously the performance of the actors and the writing and what we'll actually see seems to be very good and hopeful. So from all the Superman experts, that sounds exactly like what it should be. So
yeah,
I want quality comic book movies. So yeah, Let's hope it holds. Sometimes, sometimes this stuff comes out, people are super excited about it, and then you give it a year or two and they start nitpicking about everything that sucks about it. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true
I'm
too.
sure it's not going to be quite Batman v Superman level. And honestly, maybe my head wasn't really in the whole media thing at the time, but Man of Steel, again, in my circle, everyone liked it. So, but time goes on and we start, chipping away at it. So that could still happen.
Yeah. Real quick, Emma Rayguns Marcellus from So Wizard says, between Sinners, Minecraft movie, and Superman, Warner Brothers is going to have a good year. Did Minecraft do well? I think it did. Yeah. I know Sinners did really well.
I don't know the financials of Minecraft, but I know that at least among the lexicon of what the kids are into and like they like it. Lava Chicken, the Lava Chicken song.
But
Jason Momoa.
I was also going to say, you sent me one of those early reviews, and I started reading it, and the guy's breaking it down like beat by beat. I'm like, no, this is too much information. I want to go see the movie. I don't want to know. I don't want this much information. So yeah, you had me, reeling. So it's funny because James Gunn obviously reacted to this online on Instagram. He posted a picture showing it's certified fresh, and everyone's pointing out this is a higher rating than Man of Steel got, and what is hold on, I'm trying to find, I had the article, here it is. And so yeah, like he put a little heart emoji in the certified fresh picture up, and the article pointed out the Boston Globe said Superman hasn't had this much charm and personality since Christopher Reeve made you believe a man could fly. And while David Cornsweet won't replace the memories of Reeve, he's certainly the best Superman since the late actor hung up his cape and tights. So I think that is high praise indeed. So yeah, I think I just like, I don't know. I think it's going to be an awesome movie, but I will say, like, I've seen some bad reviews of it, but like, I felt like they were coming from people who didn't see the movie or felt like there was some kind of agenda to the movie, and they were reeling against that, And to give you, I told you, in a text earlier today or yesterday that like this one that I saw, the guy was ragging on and was PO'd that they didn't say truth, justice, and the American way. And he's like, oh, Superman's always been about the American way and blah, blah. And it's like, dude, they haven't used the American way in decades.
Yeah. They did away with that long ago. We've already dealt with that issue.
In fact, I don't even think Christopher Reeve says the American way in his movies. What people don't realize is truth, justice, and the American way was invented for the Superman TV show in the 50s because we were at the height of the Cold War. And it was a propaganda thing that was put into the TV show. Like, that's where that came from. That was never something from the comics. That was nothing, but like, for some reason, people have associated Superman with that for, ever since. So yeah, it's just weird that people would attack it for reasons like that. What does Kassan say? Why does everyone want to compare it to Man of Steel? Do we compare the Dark Knight trilogy to Batman 89? Some people do. Some people do.
That was the standard.
This kind of conversation just elevates the needless feud with the Snyder crowd. People can like both. Let's just judge the movie on its own merit. No, no, because the Snyder bots have gotten on my last nerve. I can't tell you how many times I go on social media and I see all these people coming on and saying, "Oh, we're going to boycott the movie," and they're like, "We're going to review bomb it," and it's just like they want it to fail, and it's just like, why, you know? And that was the other thing that reviewer who was saying the American Way thing and beating on that, he was also like, felt like he was a Cavill fan, and he's like, "Oh, they ruined the franchise by getting rid of Cavill and blah blah." And it's just like it's a new universe. He's rebooting it. It's a new actor. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. People are hating on this, and that is one of the things I keep seeing over and over again. Is like, it's not Henry Cavill. It's not Man of Steel. We restore the Snyderverse. It's like that's never going to happen, but people won't let it go, and like that's why I want this movie to succeed all expectations, so that like maybe those people will stop. Maybe.
You know, I don't think they're going to, and because I'm not a Snyderverse bot, but I did like the Snyder stuff. I didn't like Batman v Superman. That was shit.
Yeah.
But the Snyder, version of the Justice League, I really liked that storyline where it was going with Darkseid and the anti-life equate. Like that was the way that movie ended. You're like, oh shit! Like yeah, they took care of. Spoiler alert: they killed Steppenwolf, but Darkseid's coming, and it gave you that Thanos level anticipation that I believe led to so much success on the Marvel side of things. So I'm not a Snyderverse bot. I don't want this to die in belief that they're going to go back to that. But I wish we did. I wish we did kind of continue to explore that. I really do, but it's not going to happen. So, I want to enjoy this. So yeah, stop with the hate. Just, let it ride. Watch the goddamn movie. But there's a lot, I don't know how much potential spoilers you want to get into.
Well, I don't know. Why did you have something is bugging you?
It's just I'm not a DC guy, so I really do find it kind of a bit off-putting about this Justice Gang that they're putting together. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna let the movie play, and I'm if they, I'll be interested if they do a good job. I'm in the Hall of Justice. Like, I don't know. I got to see where this is gonna go, but yeah, I don't know. The first Green Lantern Guy Gardner thing is kind of like, why? Just makes me think like it's going to be James Gunnsy in that way, and that was just kind of one of the things that I be cautious about going into this. I didn't want the whole James Gunny experience. So I don't know. I've heard a reviewer say that it struggled with the tonal shift between James Gunn and the more serious aspects of the movie.
Yeah.
But hey, Rotten Tomatoes can't be wrong, right?
If I always say, if the audience score and the critic score don't match, that's when I'm like, something's not right here. But when they do match, it's like, okay, like there's got to be something to this.
Yeah, generally quality. Yeah.
And here's the other thing, right? Because this is unfortunately the world that we live in today. So James Gunn said in an interview that let me find the exact quote here. In the Times in the UK, that Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it's mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and is something we have lost. Right? Like, that was the comment. And of course, that has gone viral with people coming out and calling the movie super woke, and that we don't want to go to a movie theater to be lectured and have somebody throw their ideology onto us. And
people are so dumb with that.
I found that
really.
Well, I found it. No. The thing is, I found it fascinating because that's a theme that's been explored multiple times in multiple Superman stories. It hasn't been explored as much in the movies, but has been explored. Like Superman Returns explores it a little bit, but they explored the themes in Smallville. They've explored it in the comics. They've explored it in the cartoons. That, like, you know, there's a whole side of Superman who is a Kryptonian. He's from another planet, and yes, he was born in, or not born. He was raised in Kansas, and blah blah blah. But he's not. He has said it. You know, he's an alien. He's in every sense of the word, and like he struggles with that a little bit in his identity. Like they've touched on that in multiple Superman stories. So to sit there and say, like, you're making it woke, and I get it, like immigration is a hot topic right now in this country, and we're not going to get into it, but I get where, like, oh, okay, well, now we're going to take this and turn it into he's being woke. And it's like, no, this is already something that's established in Superman's canon. To turn around and say you're preaching at us now, again, it's like with the American Way thing. Like, again, invented for the TV show, but everyone associates it, Superman, with that. Like, no, you're wrong. Like, you have a version of Superman from the little bit that you've watched in your head, and now, you know, somebody's trying to be more true to the story from the comics, and you're going to jump on him and say he's being woke. I don't know. Just, what do you think?
No, it's pure lunacy.
Yeah.
Like, you are exposing yourself if you're saying that really anything in a comic book movie you feel lectured about. How do you feel lectured about superheroes going against corrupt governments, or saying, hey, you shouldn't just kill people or rip people? Like, what? I really would like to know, like, what do you think Superman's doing that makes you, as a good person, feel lectured? You know, Superman in the comics, you know, Peace on Earth, that storyline, like, decided that, you know, no one on Earth is going to starve, you know, and that, so, like, yeah, no one on Earth. So what, do you feel lectured by that? Are you for starving people? So you feel like that's stupid. That's completely fucking stupid.
And yeah, I mean, and it's funny too, because, like, isn't that one of the things where that's a movie that's a storyline that is very much explored in this movie. From what I know, the storyline is he goes, and because everyone, you can see it in the trailer, so I don't feel like this is a major spoiler, but like he goes to this country that's having there's like a war going between these two countries, and he goes and helps this country. They're not real countries, they're made up DC countries. I don't remember the names off the top of my head. And because that guy, the person in the suit that he's fighting, is from that other country, blah blah.
Yeah.
But like part of the story is like the US government is upset with him for getting involved. But he's an all-powerful alien, and he's technically not, you know, he's not doesn't work for the government. Like he's just trying to be a hero and save the world. Yet our government's like, no, you can't do that. Well, what right do they have to say that he can't do that? So, but like, and again, that's a theme that's been explored in story after story in the comics. So like this whole thing of like, oh, should be a puppet for the American government is silly.
Yeah.
No,
it is no pun intended, super silly for anyone to have. Again, that really exposes someone that has that criticism of the character or really comics in general. This, yeah. I mean, it'd be one thing. It'd be one thing if he's promoting like, certain surgeries, I guess, that people wouldn't agree with. But it's not. It's nothing like anything remotely
right
like that. So here's the worst part about this is if you're saying that the internet sphere already has pockets that are calling, super woke or whatnot, that just means that fucking malnourished lumberjack shithead's going to be talking about this. We're going to have to hear that shit. That's the worst part about that.
You know what?
Not only those people exposing themselves, but yeah, now it's going to get picked up by that guy.
Matt Walsh. We're going to have to, we're going to have a conversation about him probably coming up.
I just want him to like try and roast me on a show or something, Oh yeah, this was funny when I read it.
Thrawn says, "Sir, the odds of successfully navigating a Brie Larson are approximately 345,000 to 1." Thrawn keeps coming up with the best lines. You need to
he does.
We need to use them in another promo or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Right, like you've said this too about like people complaining that the X-Men cartoon was woke or whatever, and it's like,
right,
the X-Men have always been quote unquote woke. I don't even think woke is the right term. I feel like woke has been used by anyone on one side of the aisle who doesn't agree with the other side of the aisle. I'm not even going to say who's who. Yeah, everyone knows what I'm saying, but yeah, it's just like,
I'll say it. The left called the right Nazis. The right Nazis call the right. I'm sorry, the right called the left woke. That's what it is now.
Yeah, that is our political discourse in this country. That's it. We don't go past that. So,
I mean, I'm a one-issue voter, so I don't know what to tell you. Other than that, I don't care about the guy. Politics bore me,
Yes. Politics bore everyone. Speaking of things that are boring. No, this isn't boring. Speaking of things that are changing. How's that? So there's a new comic out, Superman Treasury 2025 Hero for All. Number 1 is currently out, and in issue 1, they essentially mock the death of Jonathan Kent in Man of Steel. So in the, because this is pointed out in the article too, right? Like, there are all these people that have this vision in their head that Pa Kent is dead, but he's been alive in the comics for forever. They've killed him off a couple times in the comics, but then brought him back. It depends on what universe we're in. But the first time that they killed off Jonathan Kent was in the original Superman movie in the 70s. But again, that was done by Richard Donner to create a lesson for Superman. Like, despite how powerful he is, he can't save everyone. If someone just has a heart attack, he can't do anything about it. So in the comic, Clark keeps having these flashbacks of things that happen, and one of the flashbacks is Jonathan Kent dies when Clark is little, before he has his powers, trying to save his friends in a tornado, and then a bridge collapses on him, but he manages to save Clark. So the funny thing about it is, when we come back to present day, Jonathan Kent's alive. This is like a fake memory, and this was done in an effort to mock the death of Jonathan Kent in Man of Steel, because he sacrificed himself not to save his son, but so that his son would keep his secret, which makes it a completely meaningless death in the grand scheme of things in the movie. Like, it's not motivational in the right way. All it's doing is saying, keep your powers hidden, and that was just silly.
And maybe let some kids die,
Yeah, let some kids die. The worst Jonathan Kent ever.
Played by a great actor.
Yes. Lazarus Pit Kent, says Thornkill.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think about it? Because you're a defender of Man of Steel on some levels.
I am.
How did you feel? That's the one main thing that has always bothered me about that movie, is the portrayal of Jonathan Kent, because he should be the moral compass for Superman, and yet he said, let kids die, and then he sacrificed himself for no reason. So I don't know, what do you think that those are good things in the movie? Or do you just overlook them?
No, at this point with Jonathan Kent, like, kids die, let me die. It's like, man, is he in service of some fucking necromancer or something? Jeez. But no, seriously. But the movies, I don't know why the movies are so into like erasing Jonathan Kent. Not completely erasing him, but they more want to highlight Jor-El. And so I don't know why they made that decision, because I think him being guided by a Kansas farmer speaks to more of the strength of the character. So I don't know. So anyway, so as a defender, I will say that is the part of the movie that I am like, oh, that's fucking stupid.
Okay.
That is the one thing I'm like, that is complete. Are you telling me someone that can move faster than a speeding bullet isn't going to just yoke up his dad real quick? Like,
right.
Seriously, like, even if Jonathan Kent was demented enough, he'd be like, "Oh, let me die, son." I'd be like, "The fuck you," what are you talking about?
And the funny thing is, like, they have shown over and over again that he can move faster than anyone can see. So he could have saved his dad, put him in a safe spot, and then run back under the bridge, and they could have just said that, oh, he somehow didn't get picked up by the tornado. Like, that's it, But no, they just killed him. Like, and every time I'm like, why? I have to fast forward that scene if I'm watching it online. So all I will say is that, yes, it was a pointless death, but I am definitely going to go check out Superman Treasury 2025, Hero for All #1, because of this, because, that scene deserves to be mocked, and mocked it shall be. Thronkill says he should have lived and had a show about the local feed store, a la The Office. Yeah, that'll work. All right, let's get a little more hype. So I did. I forgot I was gonna mention this at the top of the show, but this is as good of time as any. I did a poll for Superman, saying, curious who is your favorite Superman actor. But the thing is, I did it on X, and I also did it on YouTube, and we now have a community page available on YouTube. So you guys who are subscribers to this channel here on YouTube, not on any of the other platforms, but on YouTube, you can go to the community and you can post stuff there. So, if you have comments about something you want to see and whatnot, and you're not on our Discord, link in the description below, then go over on the YouTube community and send us a message there. Tell us what you want to see in an upcoming show. So, for the poll, I only picked 4 Supermen because you can only do up to 4 choices, and I think I picked the 4 big ones. So we have Christopher Reeve, Brandon Routh, Henry Cavill, and Tyler Hoechlin. I think that's how you say his last name. Obviously, Christopher Reeve, the original one from the movies from the 70s. On Brandon Routh was Superman Returns. Henry Cavill, of course, Man of Steel, and Tyler played him on Lois and Clark, Lois and Clark, which was a very popular show on the WB, and so, like you're saying, is Gene Hackman? Wait,
No, Gene's
sorry.
not a hack, man.
Favorite Soups is Reeves, but favorite actor from the movie is Gene Hackman. Okay. So, what's the results basically match from both slightly different percentages. So coming in at last place, let me just double check that he's in last place on both. Oh no, I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom 2, Brandon Routh was bottom on Twitter or X, but Tyler Hoechlin, whatever, is bottom on YouTube, which then flipped those for the 2. So then third place on YouTube is Ralph, and third place is Hoechlin on X. So, all right, leaving the last 2. Did you look at the polls? You know the results, so I can't have you guess.
No, I didn't look. So.
Oh, okay. Who do you think between Henry Cavill and Christopher Reeve it took the top spot?
Christopher Reeve.
There you go. Yes. I will say that Henry Cavill came in a strong second, especially on X. Cavill got 20. Yeah, Cavill got 29.4%. Reeve got 32.4%.
I didn't even think it'd be close.
Well, on YouTube, Reeve got 52%, and Henry Cavill got 29%. So
okay, that's more what I was expecting.
Yes. So it's So Christopher Reeve is apparently, from what we can tell in our very scientific polling method here, is everyone's favorite live action Superman. And we didn't even include I can't think of his name.
The first Reeve?
No. Well, you know what? Reeves, yeah. From the TV show. But no, I'm thinking of the New Adventures of Superman football player
from Lois and Clark.
Yeah, became an actor.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain. Yeah, I didn't even include Dean Cain because I knew he wouldn't get a lot of votes. People don't like him, 1, because of his political beliefs, and 2,
I know nothing about that. Okay.
And 2, let's be honest, he wasn't a great actor. Everyone watched that show for Terry Hatcher. Let's be honest. I mean, she was hot. Like,
straight hair brunettes, no doubt.
What's your who's your favorite live action Superman?
My favorite live action Superman is gonna be Christopher Reeve. Yeah, that's what I grew up with. I mean, that's why most people know about Superman. But yeah, he, just his whole thing. I like Henry Cavill Superman, but no one can top Christopher Reeve for me. Armin Armani, all right.
Armani, that's not your neighbor, is it? Watching on Twitch?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, sup?
So hey, we got another Twitch person. Sup, man? Sup, Armani? 13.5.
You got to do the head nod. Sup?
Sup, man? So
Uh,
anyway, I got to go back to this comment here. It's sticking with me.
Where did my co-host just go? All right. Technical difficulties abound. He's coming back on now.
No, don't know what happened there at all. But okay.
All right. There we go.
So Thronkill again, referring to Jonathan Kent, he should have lived and had a show about the local feed store, a la The Office. So like, so then like, are you talking about like imagining him sitting in an office? He calls in Clark, right? He calls in his son and says, "Oh, you know, the feed that went to the state fair for all the animals, it crashed, and we got to get him the feed right away. Can you please fly all this feed to the state fair?" And then he's gonna take him back to the like water cooler and say, "Hey, Dad, but remember you wanted me to those children to die, but now I got to save animals." Like, is that you're talking about the feed office? Like, where'd you even come up with that, man? I got to know. I'm sorry. Because that's immediately what I thought of too, which is that scenario that I just gave you was stupid. There's no reason anyone needs to think that. But okay, anyway.
Are you drunk?
No, not at all. I'm not drinking anything.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I just the comment. I'm like, what? The office with the feed store and Jonathan Kent. Okay.
Yeah,
I just had to get that out. Sorry.
I will say Christopher Reeve. I mean, it's funny too because Smallville is one of my favorite shows, but he technically was never Superman. He was always Clark Kent. So I didn't include
Tom Welling.
Tom Welling, thank you. So yeah, I mean, you know, Christopher Reeve's a lot of people's first Superman, so that's it. So of all the films that have been made for Superman, so all the the 4 Superman movies, Man of Steel, Superman Returns, that's it, I think. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you could count Batman v Superman and Justice League if you wanted to, because Superman's in those. What is your all-time favorite movie featuring the Man of Steel or the Last Son of Krypton?
All-time movie that features the Last Son of Krypton. I'm gonna say Man of Steel. Honestly.
Technical difficulties. I'm gonna have to eject. I mean,
see, that's why I got kicked out. You were just practicing. Yeah, no, I like that movie. And I'll tell you, because as I've explained before, I am a power porn guy. So, you know, and that movie made me very excited for a potential like Dragon Ball Z movie, which, boy, was I disappointed there. But so I really liked the fighting between Superman and Zod. I know everyone's horrified about all the people dying and shit. But I don't know. I liked Michael Shannon as Zod. So honestly, yes, it's my favorite one to watch.
I'm so disappointed. I don't know. I mean, I'm always torn between Superman 2 and Superman 1 when it comes to Superman movies. And I don't, you know, I mean, 2's got way more action in it, you know, big fight scene with the 3 Kryptonians and whatnot. And it's got the weird you know, he gives up his powers and then tricks them into giving up their powers and all that stuff. And it's got some of the weird things, like he throws the S at the one Kryptonian and it wraps him up for like a second. It doesn't even like really stop him. You and that's when it started getting weird. Like, wait, what powers are we giving him? But yeah, I'll go with Superman too.
Oh yeah.
Reeves Superman, who spins the Earth in the opposite direction, is an even worse guffaw than Pa Kent wanting Man of Steel Superman to not help him. No. Because I found a good authority. I was watching not the Today Show. No, yeah, the Today Show this morning, and who's the famous weatherman? African American.
Oh, Al Roker.
Al Roker they were talking about the Superman movie, and of course he said that that's like his favorite movie, and blah blah. And he goes, and it's scientifically accurate that you can slow time, because that's what it is. They were talking about how because of the position of the moon or something, we lost 1.7 seconds in our rotation, and he's like, and you can slow it down like Superman did and reverse it. He's like, that's scientifically accurate. And if Al Roker said it, it's got to be true. Al Roker would never steer us wrong.
What did Al Roker say about the time travel aspect? So, I mean, and yes, you can slow the rotation of the Earth, but then he whipped it around so fast the other way, we would have all been putty.
No, we wouldn't.
Just like Hassan says here. I mean, if you think about it, Reeves Superman was so dumb, he would have killed the entire population of Earth if he actually managed that.
All he did was reverse time. That's how it works.
Okay.
I want to see your astrophysics degree before you can dispute that.
Okay, I'll have to find a Neil deGrasse Tyson stream and ask him.
Okay, or we'll just get Al Roker on the show. That's my goal. I want Al Roker to be a guest on this show.
You want Al Roker?
Talk Superman. Yeah, I want Al Roker on.
All right. Make it so. We'll ask him when we go to Comic-Con.
There you go.
We'll go to the Today Show.
Yes.
With our little signs.
Outside. Yeah, we'll have a sign that says, we want to know Al Roker's opinion on Superman. I bet you that'll work. So I didn't do a poll for favorite movie because there would have been too many to list. But let us know in the comments down below, what is your all-time favorite Superman movie? I mean, we could say general property as well if you want to. I mean, I know some people will say the animated series. Some people will say the Fleischer shorts because they were great for their time. And a lot of people will say Superman 1, Superman 2, or Man of Steel. But let us know in those comments, and we will discuss it maybe on the next episode. Which is coming up fast. All right. So then the final question I have related to this movie, knowing what we've said, knowing what we know, what we've read, what we've heard, what we don't know, what is the one thing that you want out of a Superman movie? What will make you happy walking out of the theater going, yes, that was a good Superman movie?
If there's a great dynamic between the superhero and the villain, and it's not just a copycat thing. Even if it is a copycat thing, it could, as long as there's a good dynamic there between. So specifically in this movie, then it's going to be Supes and Lex Luthor. Like, we've seen a little bit of it, but I think the good dynamic there between the antagonist and protagonist, or what have you, is essential.
All right. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that's actually,
otherwise it's Superman versus a bald guy,
Right. I think why can't I think of his name? Holt. I think he's going to do an amazing job as Lex Luthor, and he actually auditioned for Superman, and James Gunn was like, "You're an amazing actor, but I think you'd be better as Lex." So he took it. I think I agree with that. I also would like a good action set piece in it, right? Because I mean, of course, one of the criticisms of like Superman Returns is like there's no like action in the movie. He doesn't fight anyone. He lifts a bunch of stuff up, but there's no like
He spins a plane around needlessly for no reason. Yeah.
And lifts an island into space.
He took a bullet in the eye. I mean, that was cool, I guess.
Yeah, that was a cool effect. So yeah, like a good action set piece, which isn't him and this alien fighting and then destroying the city and everyone dies. Like that's the other thing. Show him caring about casualties, which I mean, come on. There's that epic scene in the trailers where he saves the little girl from the explosion. So they're going to do a good job of showing him caring about quote unquote collateral damage in the movie. So I think we're safe there. But yeah, a good set piece and a good like I want to walk out feeling like, yeah, I want to feel hopeful and like, oh, this is really good, and I can't wait to see the next one. This made me feel good about being a human being on Earth, and that, you know, this is a character that I can aspire to be. Like they didn't drag Superman down to my level; they made me want to be better because of Superman. It's a tall order, but that's what I want out of David Cornsweat's Superman. So they better deliver. Oh
my God, I will walk out of the theater the moment a multiverse is mentioned.
I want to see him fight a kaiju. Well, that was in the trailers.
Oh yeah, who doesn't? Yeah, hell yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna fight a kaiju. Thrawn, you're gonna get that. Sansa, say what you want about Snyder. His action scenes were top notch. That Batman v Superman scene with Batfleck was jaw dropping. Snyder bots. So all right, that's it. That is it. We came and got it done. We have discussed this movie to death. This went longer than I thought it was going to. So,
always does.
So with that being said, let's ask that all important question.
What did we learn on the show tonight?
What'd you learn, Don? Or you got any recommendations, or both?
Well, I learned that I don't think you expected me to say that the Man of Steel was my favorite Superman movie.
Yeah, no one was expecting that.
Learn that if Thrawn Kill throws out a weird premise, that sometimes I can't ignore it and it'll put me on the fritz. So yeah, recommendations. I don't know. I'm playing the hell out of Magic of Marina, so do that. Rewatching Gundam 00, I think that's what it's called. Outside of that, though, you know, of course, Dave and I, we're going to be going to Comic-Con, and perhaps we might even be doing a panel. So
or
what
two.
we really like to be, or two. So what we really like to be able to do is put together kind of a video that can kind of sell the podcast a little bit while we're there. So if you just, if you remember or could recommend any particular segments or not segments, because it'd be very short, something funny or provocative question that David asked, just let us know. I know a couple of moments already, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. If you think of something that you thought was really funny or interesting, you know, something very small snippet though, let us know. I'd like to make a hype video for superhero speak, you know?
Hype it up.
Hype. Get hype.
I learned that Kassan and I can no longer be friends. He says Big Bang Theory is a joke of a show. I don't see how anyone likes a show that thrives on annoying laugh track. You know what? It was an amazing show. And it was an amazing show because I have friends like that. I have had those exact conversations. Some of the things I laughed at the hardest at were like, oh God, I had this conversation with my brother and my friend in the comic book shop 2 years ago. You know, like it was so true to life. And I think people who don't get that, who haven't lived it, you know, but yeah, like I think they did a great job of portraying that kind of lifestyle in a realistic way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how realistic it was because they were all like well-to-do professors, and maybe we could have a show about this because I'm not. I like that show, but there are things about it that annoy me because I feel it's very pandering. But at the same time, while I say that, it brought a lot of mainstream people into our world. You know, we're like, you know, my mother-in-law, you know, oh, you know, it's Sheldon, he's so funny, and they're playing, you know.
Yeah, and I will say that I think towards the later seasons, it got formulaic and a little wacky with some of the things.
Well,
but
when
like,
they were all running around with like hot wives, that's where I kind of lost. Like, okay, the Leonard and Penny thing, like, okay, that's already like a suspension, a disbelief, you know, but yeah, then at some point they've all got like hot wives. And
the biggest when it comes to that suspension of disbelief with the wives was when Howard meets Bernadette, and he doesn't, he's not sure he wants to date her. He doesn't think she's hot enough. And it was like, are you kidding me? Like that was a definite, like, okay, that might have been the jump the shark moment for me a little bit, especially with the Howard character. Recommendations. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to recommend that you watching go and see Superman this weekend, because that is all we will be talking about next show on Sunday. We will be reviewing it, discussing it, debating it, and hopefully we will both like it, but we shall see. I'm also going to recommend go get your HBO Max app and go watch The Big Bang Theory from starting with episode 1. See, because I think that's another thing is I've seen people complain like, oh, this really isn't funny. And I'm like, you're taking it out of context. Like you had to see the setup that was either earlier in the episode or maybe it was an earlier episode that season. Right, like there's a setup and then a delivery, and it's like you have to watch, but you're just looking at the delivery and you missed the setup, right? Like you took the joke out of context. So, and they did have a live audience. It wasn't a laugh track. People who that
was Kassan there. Which actually is funny because he doesn't like that show, yet it is that show being a topic that actually extended our show like he normally wants.
Yes, I know. We will visit the Big Bang Theory soon on this show because it's an important cultural milestone in American history. America. All right. Well,
America. That was last week.
Oh, yeah. On that note, boys and girls, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or two. It's a really nice thing to do. And what are you waiting